Yes, you were reading the title of this video correctly. The Blues should just tank for the 2024 draft, especially after last night's loss. This is all coming up here on Locked on Blues.
You're Locked on Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh, St. Louis, how are you doing today? I would say I am doing good. It is Friday, and I always look forward to the weekend. But one thing that I am not looking forward to is talking about last night's game where the Capitals defeated the Blues 5-2. It was an awful loss. TJ Oshie, who we actually drafted, ended up getting a hat trick last night. Should the Blues just tank for the draft? And of course, are you feeling blue? A busy episode on today's podcast. But first, I just want to let you know that this episode today is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get 150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. Visit fanduel.com/locked on to get started. Last night was ugly. Last night was really ugly. Actually, let me rephrase. The first period was manageable. That was fine. It was everything else that was ugly. And I'm going to be realistic with you because I have putting this off for so long because I wanted to believe that this team could somehow get their act together, that they could be a team that surprises us, does well, because I know when we won the cup in 2018, 2019, we were dead last in the Western Conference by the end of January. It is now January 19th. And this season is a little bit different than that season where these teams that are at the top right now are uber competitive, getting a bunch of points. And I do not think that the Blues will be able to catch up with them with their schedule ahead. So this leaves me to one question. And I hate this because I feel like this is a loser mentality type of question. But right now, we are losers, okay? And right now, I am thinking about what's the best thing for this team in a couple years to come in the future of this team. Should the St. Louis Blues tank for the draft? I hate saying it. I hate that this is even a possibility, but realistically, at what point is enough enough? And last night's game solidified to me every single doubt that I had. Last night, the first period, as I said, more manageable to watch. Nathan Walker, well, TJ scored off the bat, but Nathan Walker was able to equalize the game. Good goal by the Aussie. I'm a big Nathan Walker fan, by the way, but they just couldn't maintain control of the puck. And the Capitals are not a good team this season. I want to remind you, they might have looked really good last night because of how well they played against St. Louis, but they're not a good team. And the Blues just looked like they were struggling the whole entire game after that first period. Their energy was exerted. They were turning pucks over like crazy. And besides the defense, Bennington also looked off. And it just kind of confuses me to where this is a team that was able to beat the Rangers. I know that they do very well at home, but you're going on the road after kind of coming off of this homestand that wasn't that great, and that's how you play? Like, I just don't understand. And while I know that this is Drew Bannister's first losing streak, they now have lost 3 in a row. I don't necessarily think that it's going to get any better. I think that this schedule up ahead, it's tough. And realistically, okay, let's just say they beat the Capitals at home tomorrow. They're still gonna have to go to Calgary and Vancouver and Seattle. And I just don't see the Blues winning majority of those games. I don't. This team has problems, and I hate, hate, hate that this is happening because I went into the season being really optimistic. I thought, okay, maybe a couple of these players just had some off season. I mean, off. They're just not having their best season. They're a little bit off, and they can turn things around. Braden Shen this season has been disappointing me. While he's made some nice assists as of lately, I just expected more out of the captain, right? Robert Thomas, I cannot say anything bad about my boy RT, but Kyrie started off slow. And while he is making clutch plays, obviously he got those got the Hattie the other night against the Rangers. I just want to see more, you know? You look at the defense. I think Nick Leddy, again, he's all right, but he's not doing anything that's insanely good. Colton Parayko is actually playing very well. He gets a lot of criticism, which I don't understand why, because I think he's playing a solid game. But it's the midway point. It's a little bit past now the midway point of the season. And last night, everything just looks sloppy. And I can't even fathom the fact that this team is collapsing in front of our eyes. And Nathan Walker, by the way, he did score 2 goals last night. I know I only talked about the one. So Oishi got a power play goal. Obviously, our PK wasn't that good last night. Nathan Walker scored in that first period, equalizing the game 1-1. And then this is when it gets embarrassing. Nick Aube-Kubel was able to get a goal against us. And I'm going to be honest, he's not that good of a player. He's not the best. So bad. Oishi again off the power play, another power play goal. I'm like, okay, of course he does. So it's 3-1 after the second period. We go to the third period. Oh, only 30 seconds in. Dylan Strome is able to get a goal. 4-1. Nathan Walker gets a goal, but like it's not going anywhere because the Blues don't know how to maintain pucks possession. And then Oishi's able to get an empty netter with like 19 seconds left. Oh, Marty Party scored. I used to really study up these prospects, and this guy on their team, Martin, I used to really want him to be drafted by the Blues, and he wasn't. He was obviously drafted by the Capitals, but he was a player I liked a lot for St. Louis, and he didn't come here, so I just saw that. But yeah. Yeah, not good. I mean, right now the Blues are 6th in the Central Division, 44 points, and Washington, I know that I said they're not good, like, they're really not that good of a team, but they were able to really dominate us last night. We didn't do bad on the faceoffs, and, like, you know what's, like, funny? Like, we still had the same amount of shots, almost. You know, everything was pretty much even, but if you watched the game last night, it did not look even by any single way at all. And that's what's most confusing about this team is statistically they look fine, right? Maybe not the power play, but statistically this team isn't like super bad. But when you watch them play, it doesn't add up. And that's the problem. And last night I'm watching this game, right? And the whole entire time I'm thinking, when are they going to exert the same amount of energy that they put into teams against like the Rangers or the Bruins? Why is it? And I've been saying this all season. I feel like I'm going to lose my mind on this podcast. All season, I've been saying the same exact thing that the St. Louis Blues play obviously harder against the teams that are better, but when it's a team that's not as good, it's like no energy on the ice. And it's sloppy mistakes. There's no adjustments. And you would think that they would adjust maybe after that first period. Okay, Washington's coming on really strong. Where's the forechecking? None of that. There's nothing. I'm not seeing a single thing that shows me any sign of wanting to win this hockey game last night. I'm watching the third period because obviously being a Blues fan, I'm not going to like turn it off. I'm actually loyal to my team. They're not loyal to us. Where was the energy? Nathan Walker, obviously, can't say anything bad about Nathan Walker. I feel like he had a good game himself. I mean, 2 goals. I mean, that's big for the Aussie. But there was no energy last night. Blondie Girl 2021 on YouTube, because I am live on the YouTube stream, says, I feel like a lot of momentum shifted in Washington's way during that second goal when Folk accidentally deflected it into our net. Very sloppy play. I didn't want to be reminded of that one. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. I was trying to avoid that, but yeah, that happened. A lot of bad things happen. And another thing too is, and I know I said this about Bennington. Which goal was it? I took notes. Um, it was, I believe it was the Dylan Strome goal. Yeah, that's what I had. Bennington went for a glove save and shifted his body kind of to like the side of the net. And the net was wide open. The puck was still loose. He didn't really have like his hand on top of the puck or anything. And then it went in. if you're listening, I try to describe it as best as I could. Where was Binnington's head during this game? I will defend Binner. I love him. I want him to succeed. But as a Blues fan, I'm allowed to be upset because that was stupid. Everything last night was upsetting, disappointing, stupid, and sloppy hockey. And it's not acceptable at this point in the season. It's really not. It's simple things. It wasn't like there was anything crazy that the Capitals were doing where it was like, oh my gosh, like there was none of that. Nothing crazy. They weren't doing like any kind of backhandy shots. None of that. No. All simple. But they were by the net. They were able to screen. They were able to rebound. And that is something that St. Louis needs to learn how to defend on. I'm sorry I'm getting upset. And I'm sorry I'm yelling. Actually, I'm not sorry I'm yelling because I am frustrated. And I'm going to talk about why at this point, let's just tank for the draft. Because your girl looking ahead. But first, I want to tell you about my friends over at Indeed. So, if you need a hire, you need Indeed. Your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to the Indeed data, a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with your candidates faster. Also, Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to the recent Indeed survey. One thing I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring in one place so easy because it always matches me with the right candidates right away. So, this is what I need you to do, okay? Any listener of the show right now will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at indeed.com/locked on. Just go to indeed.com/locked on right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/locked on. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hire? You need Indeed. Indeed, you do. I'm gonna be honest. This is a loser mentality I have right now. I know, but trade away everybody and tank for the draft. That's my new song title. It's called Trade Away Everybody, Tank for the Draft. Yeah, no, this is really bad. I'm panicking a lot about the state of the St. Louis Blues, and it is not a good feeling whatsoever. And I usually don't look at the standings right away, but it's important to talk about where the Blues stand at this point in the season because it's not good. It's yeah, really not good. So right now, the St. Louis Blues have 44 points and are 6th in the Central. And you might be thinking, "Hey, that's not bad, right?" That's not bad. No, it's pretty bad. Um, they and by they, the St. Louis Blues, they seriously had such potential this season, okay? They had great opportunities with different players. They got a captain in Shenny, Robert Thomas, always solid. Torrey Krug said that he wanted to stay. And now I'm kind of like, oh, this is not good. And all the contracts are really bad. And yeah, it's bad. And I know I keep on saying the word bad. There's no other word to describe how bad it is. And let's talk about our Western Conference. You're not going to like this. Because when I tell you the statistic, you're not going to like this. The St. Louis Blues are in 12th place out of 16 in the Western Conference. Behind St. Louis is Minnesota, then Anaheim, then Chicago, and then San Jose. Oh my gosh. we're a bottom team. The St. Louis Blues are a bottom team. That is not good. That is really not good. Oh my gosh, like the St. Louis Blues literally could get that top 6 draft pick right now. Like this is really bad. Um if you and this is where you're going to be kind of mad at me. So if the Blues is 40 what was it? 43 44 points. If you put them into you're going to be so mad at me. If you put them into the Eastern Conference with 43 points, they are going to be in 15th place, so second to last. So it's kind of like a good thing that we have the Western, but like, oh, it's so bad, right? Rob says we have really good players. You can't blow it up. We need to get rid of a couple players, about 6, and then fix and spend some money and get some good defensive players. Uh, you asked a while back, should we keep new coach? I say no. Yeah, Drew Bannister isn't doing it. I think for now it's whatever, but yeah, no, this whole team, blow it up. Get them gone. Obviously, I'm not saying like the whole team. Like, obviously, like, I'm not saying like get rid of every player, right? Like keep Robert Thomas, obviously number 1. Kyrou is fine. Buchnevich is fine. Buchnevich is fine. Neighbors fine. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying blow it up, but they need to get more goal scorers and they need to get better defensemen. They need to get better guys that can actually forecheck. It's not good. But when you think about it, if the St. Louis Blues were in the Eastern Conference, they would be second to last place. Process that. And then tell me why in any way I should believe that this is a potential wild card team. My opinion changed, okay? They got me. They got me. It's bad. You know what isn't bad though? Jase Medical. I know we come to sports to escape from some of the crazy realities of real life, but can we just talk for a minute about preparing for real life? According to the FDA, pharmacies are running out of antibiotics like amoxicillin right in the middle of the worst flu season in over a decade. This is scary. I can't imagine a more helpless feeling than myself or a loved one or one of you getting sick and because of supply chain issues they were kept from getting their life-saving medication that they needed. Thankfully, we'll be okay because of Jase Medical. The Jase case is a pack of 5 different antibiotics to treat a long list of bacterial illnesses, including UTIs, respiratory infections, sinuses, skin infections, among others. And this stuff could help any of us. Okay? So this is the Jay's case. It comes in a pack of 5 different antibiotics that treat a long list of bacterial illnesses, including UTIs, respiratory infections, sinuses, skin infections, among others. And this stuff could help any of us. Okay. So visit jasemedical.com and visit your physician encounter. It will be reviewed by a board certified physician, and your medications will be dispensed by a licensed pharmacy at fraction of the regular cost. It's never been more important to be prepared for than today. Go to jasemedical.com and use offer code locked on for $20 off your order. I have to ask you, St. Louis, are you feeling blue? I'll wait because I know what the answer is going to be. No. No, 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 I am not feeling blue at all. Bad, 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 bad. I am not feeling blue. And every single week I do this because I like to get our judgment. I like to see what we think. And last week it was funny. We all felt so good last week, right? And it's crazy how time changes. Um, but yeah, no, it's really not a good situation at all right now. So on the podcast, my Twitter at Locked On Blues, um, one of my friends said to me about TJ Oishi and says, still miss him. And I said, I pretend it's 2005 and it's the draft again. If only we could turn back time. And that's how I felt last night. If we could turn back time to the good old days, because like this sucks. And like I know their song now in Washington is Country Roads, and every single time I hear it, I'm like, that should be me. But like it should be me, like it should be us. And I just feel very like annoyed about this whole situation. I'm not feeling good. This team is on a losing streak. This team cannot make adjustments. This team is giving up. And we're loyal. We're fans. But the real question is, why are we watching a product that's so garbage right now? We should be watching a team that is allowing maybe some of these younger guys in Springfield to come up, because at this point, the guys on the ice are not cutting it. I'm sorry. I know that the trade deadline is only in a few months, less than that, honestly, because it's going to be March 8th. Do something. Do something, Doug. I don't care what you do at this point. I don't care. Doug Armstrong, if you're listening to this podcast, do something. Don't do nothing when it comes to that trade deadline. Do something. If the Blues end up not going to the playoffs this season, fine. Get a good draft pick. Make some trades. Do something this offseason. Unlike last season, where the whole big blockbuster trade was to get Kevin Hayes. What do you mean? I know Torrey Krug didn't want to go, but you had other options. You had other assets, and you didn't do a single thing. Are you surprised about the outcome of the season, Doug? Are you? No, because this team is not winning games. This team is not playing good hockey. And if you think for a second that this is acceptable, that we're just going to be like, oh, it's okay, like things happen, it's not acceptable. Last season, okay, I can look past that a little bit. Fine, it was a really bad season, first time missing the playoffs in 5 years. Fine, I can look past that. But you didn't do anything. You promised us fans, yeah, no, things will be done, like we'll be better, blah, blah, blah. You fire Coach Berube, who we all love, by the way. We all love the Chief. I was actually watching some of his highlights today, by the way, because I like to watch old hockey stuff. But I cannot fathom you, Doug Armstrong. I'm genuinely getting upset right now, because the thing is, this team had such potential. Our draft picks from this past draft were good draft picks. And I know that we're in a state where, okay, we're not going to be like a cup winning team this season. And I knew that. But where was the adjustments all season? You're setting, what are we doing? You're setting Perunovic and Tucker back and forth between the AHL and here. I don't understand. Like, is that like your biggest move that you're making? What are you doing? I'm genuinely very ticked off right now. Brandon says we should keep Neighbors. I agree. But the reason I'm getting so heated right now, I'm getting so angry, and I said the truth was going to come out, because the truth is this: Doug Armstrong is just not a good GM. I'm sorry if you like him. I'm sorry if this makes you feel discouraged. I don't care. I said what I said. What are we watching on the ice? What is this product? What exactly is the goal of the season for the St. Louis Blues? Because right now, at this point, you could be a top 6 draft pick. You really could be. And if you keep on playing the way that you're playing, you could potentially be a top 4 draft pick. What? Oh, I'm yelling and I have neighbors. But what is this team doing right? The goaltending this season hasn't been good. I'm going to be honest. It hasn't been good. The defense has been atrocious. The offense is at least putting some effort in, but still, it's on and off every single game. You never know what you're going to get. There's no consistency. The power play, yes, that's improved a little bit, but it's not consistent. There's nothing consistent about this team other than Louis, our mascot. I'm sorry. I'm so angry right now. And I'm sorry for getting this heated. But last night, I'm watching this game, and it hit me. Oh my gosh. This is not a team that has any chance of any success. None of these players together will have any success. All Doug Armstrong does is make promises about things will get better, and nothing is getting better. He thought maybe firing Craig, Berube and having Drew Bannister come in was going to fix problems, would get people at least kind of stop blaming him and would blame somebody else. I would never in a million years blame Craig Berube for how the Blues have played. Never. And none of us Blues fans blame Berube. We all blame one person. And his name is Army. We had a bad season with the St. Louis Cardinals, and I know I'm talking baseball right now, but we had a bad baseball season. Now we're having a bad hockey season. I mean, at least the soccer team was like, all right, but what are we doing here? I just want to watch and enjoy sports in St. Louis. I am going to the draft, okay? I am going to the draft. I already bought my plane ticket to Vegas. I bought my hotel rooms. And you know what? If they want to say, hey, Haley Taylor Simon from Locked On Blues, help us draft, I got you. Because at least I'm looking at draft prospects. I'm watching film. I'm watching tapes. I know that they're probably doing that, but I don't trust Doug Armstrong. If they need help for the trade deadline, I got you, Doug. Give me a call. Call me, beat me, find me. Because I know what the Blues need. Defense, goal scorers, anything. Help us. If you were watching this and you're a fan of another team and you're like, oh my gosh, this girl is losing her mind on the St. Louis Blues. Yes. Do you want any of our players? Besides Jake Neighbors, Robert Thomas, like, do you want our guys? Like, do you want Torrey Krug? Do you? Oh man, this is the most heated I ever got on an episode, but it had to be said. And I said what I said. I know some of the comments, I'm about to end this, but I know some of the comments are agreeing with me. Yeah, and Rob made another good point. It's all an excuse if we lose, and then they say, well, these are kids that have to grow. No, these are professional hockey players that are 27 years old that still don't know how to maintain puck possession. What do you mean? Oh my gosh. I am so happy that this is a podcast because I'm allowed to yell. But man, I'm getting kind of heated. Don't worry. I'll do an episode tomorrow before the Capitals game at our home ice. Not like that's an advantage anymore. So, yeah, woohoo, go Blues. Shout out Louie for being the coolest mascot and the most consistent one on the team. Other than that, I'm not happy. But I like you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. And I said what I said. And if you don't like the truth, then you know what? Oh, well, it had to be said. I will talk to you tomorrow, as I said. And yeah, we'll talk before the Capitals come to our home ice. Like always, because I still love them. Let's go Blues.